Joan Risch, missing since October 24th, 1961. She was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1930. Her birth name is Joan Carolyn Bard. So, when she was a kid, her parents were unalived in a suspicious, literally what it was called, house fire. And she was then sent to live with her aunt and uncle, where she was also allegedly SA'd. I don't even know if I need to say allegedly anymore, because he's surely long unalived. So, she had an English degree. She had worked as a secretary, editorial assistant, several different things before she met her husband. So she met her husband, Martin Risch, in 1956. They ultimately had 2 children, Lillian and David. They become married and ultimately moved to Lincoln, Massachusetts in April of 1961. So they had hardly even been there, just a few months, about 6, before she ultimately went missing. So now I am going to look at my notes. I'm going to kind of walk you through the timeline. So Martin, her husband, he leaves for work. He's leaving out of town on a business trip, and he leaves around 6:50 in the morning. So Joan does her normal routine, handles breakfast, children. She ultimately takes Lillian to a dentist visit. We know that because she took David to a neighbor / babysitter while this visit was ongoing. So then she went shopping with Lillian. She picked David up. They came home, and they had lunch, and then David went for his early afternoon nap, is what they stated. So around 1:55 p.m., she ultimately returns the children to the same neighbors. I believe the lady's name is Barbara. And right after that, around 2:15, she's seen alone, behaving strangely, in a trench coat, carrying some red object. I'm not really sure if that's related or if it's a red herring. But that's the last verified sighting of her. So we have some possible sightings around 2:45 on Route 2A. This lady was hunched over, appeared cold. Then around 3:15, we have a possible sighting around Route 120. A lady with her legs. And then 3:15, we have another possible sighting. Let's see. That was near Chapilo, Road. And this person stated that the woman appeared to have or mud on their legs. So again, these calls are coming in and stuff, but it hasn't been put together that she's missing yet. So around 4:15, the story that I read online, it goes that Barbara, the neighbor, dropped the kids off back at the house, and ultimately she went somewhere with her children, returned back, and then Lillian comes running up to her house saying, stuff like mommy's gone, and there's red paint all over the house. So that was around 4:15 that the neighbor just goes over there like, look, what the hell is going on? Let me check this out. So she goes in, finds the house literally fucked up. You're about to see. So I am going to flip through a couple of pictures while I talk about this, but this is just kind of an example of what that neighbor walked into. So the story goes that it goes on all throughout the house. I mean, it's upstairs. It's literally everywhere. It's all over the place. So ultimately, there was also furniture overturned. The telephone had been ripped from the wall, and there was beer and liquor, like empty cans and bottles, in a trash can, which was like in the middle of the floor. So I'm just going to flip through some more pictures. Definitely looks like somebody was trying to clean up. And they was right. Some of the furniture is weird. So ultimately, the neighbor finds David crying in his crib. It's unclear how he got in the crib, who put him in there. The police arrive at 4:33 p.m. They determine it's about a half pint of at this point. It's like mostly dried. They assume that whatever had occurred was probably superficial. And the word hemorrhage is mentioned a lot. So I don't know if they're referring to like a female related type hemorrhage or like what exactly would cause all that blood, just a regular hemorrhage. I don't know. But like I said, likely superficial. So they couldn't rule out hemorrhage or any sort of like blunt forced. Investigation highlights would really be that they processed like over 5,000 fingerprints trying to check this shit out because they found a fingerprint. There had been some mysterious sedans seen in the neighborhood by, I believe, the milkman and a couple other neighbors, including a school child who was getting off the bus right around the time they believe whatever occurred. Like I said, there was no type of weapon found, but there was obviously some sort of struggle. Now, we don't know if that was she became injured and struggled to go try to find help to get to the phone that was in the trash can. We don't really know what type of struggle it was, if it involved other people, what. The FBI ultimately dismissed the abduction theory because she was checking out library books over several months talking about how people had faked their own. The only reason that's really even important is because of this scene right here. So apparently, within one of the books she had recently checked out, there was a scene very similar to this where a woman used the similar setup to disappear, to fake her own unaliving, to disappear. So, I mean, we really do not know what happened.